Thank you. Hello, everybody. Welcome and happy Friday. My name is Devonna, and I'll be leading you the next 45 minutes for Yoga Core. So why don't we begin on our backs? You can start in a Shavasana with your legs straight out. Otherwise, if you want to start with some hip opening, you can bring your feet together and your heels close up to your sacrum and let your legs open for a reclined butterfly pose. If you're at home, you're welcome to use some blocks underneath your knees. Otherwise, just let your knees naturally fall open and allow your low back to melt into the mat. You can have one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly here. Or you can kind of mimic your legs with the kind of make an 8 symbol with your legs and your arms. And just let your eyes close here. And we're going to start to tune inward. So by tuning inward, we are going to let our focus be on our breath. So you can start with taking some nice, deep, long inhales through your nose, letting your belly rise and your lungs fill up. And then exhale out of your mouth, allowing the belly to drop and your low back to melt into the earth. So just circulate your breathing here in the first few minutes of class. Let your heart rate slow down, let your thoughts slow down, and just let your focus just tune in. So what are you noticing here? Notice your breath. Notice how your hips feel. Allow yourself to be grounded and open. Continuing to take nice, long, deep inhales. And maybe some audible exhales. Allowing the toxic waste and toxic thoughts out of your body. Let's take 5 more breaths in this reclined butterfly pose. So in yogi terms, that might be 50 seconds. If you take a yogi breath, let it be a nice long 10-second inhale and exhale. Let your shoulders be heavy. If you're feeling any tension in your face, just kind of release any tension in your jaw, maybe your eyebrows. Wherever you're holding tension, try to just let it melt away into your mat. Keep breathing here. You're in a safe space. You are supported by earth. So a couple more breaths in this reclined butterfly, hip opening, grounding pose. Now on your next breath, gently close your legs up. So grab the outsides of your knees, gently close them like you're closing up a book. Release your right leg, extend your right leg on the mat, and grab a hold of your left knee with clasped hands and start to bring your knee into your chest on an inhale. Exhale to open up the knee towards your left armpit. This is a wind relieving pose. So breathe here on an inhale, squeeze a little more, and exhale to release into that. And then you can kind of move your knee around here. And then release the left knee and bring your right knee up to your chest. Inhale and bring it close to your chest, keeping your chin to your chest so you kind of have a double chin. Exhale, let your right knee open up to your right armpit. Wind relieving pose. Kind of move it around. Let your hips be open. And then exhale to release the knee. And then bring both knees up to your chest. And maybe your head lifts, maybe your forehead kisses your knee, maybe not. Just kind of give yourself a hug here, but let your low back stay on the ground. And then grab both of your knees and start to make circles. You can start out small. You can start out making the circles away from you, and then eventually letting them get bigger. Continuing the flow of your breath here, inhaling to bring the knees in, exhaling to let them out. Inhaling to bring it in. And then once you got your circles big enough, you can switch sides, rotating the opposite way. Starting out small. And then once you're done with that, you can release your legs to the ground. And we're going to do a couple spinal rolls here, maybe like 3 to 5. So grab the back of your knees and start to roll. I always love this. It feels so good on my back. So you can roll yourself a few times. And then eventually we're going to land ourselves in a boat pose. So once you feel like you got the momentum and the stability, you can let yourself be in boat. So stay here on an inhale. We're going to stay here for 5 breaths, doing some core work. So breathe to lengthen your spine. Maybe you exhale and straighten your legs a little bit more. Maybe your arms come up. 3 more breaths. Beautiful boats on this beautiful terrace room. Inhale to reach. 1 more breath. And then exhale, cross your arm or your legs. Maybe give yourself a little hug here. And then let's move into a tabletop position. So you're in tabletop here and start to move into some cats and cow poses. So inhale, drop your belly and look up. Tail is lifted. Exhale, hunch, navel to spine. Inhale, drop. Your belly, heart lifts, tail lifts, gaze looks up. Exhale, hunch your spine. Now do this at your own pace. Just move with your breath. Maybe your hips rock back and forth. Just be playful in this pose if you want. You can move up and down. You're trying to warm up your spine and your hips, maybe your neck. Keep breathing here. Inhaling to drop the belly. Exhaling. Maybe one leg goes back and you look back at that leg. Let this cat cow be your cat cow. What does your body want? How do you want to move? How do you want to warm up? Keep breathing. Do one more cycle of cat cow. And then find yourself with a flat back in tabletop. And then ground your left hand onto the mat as we open up our arms for thread the needle. So right arm raises, look up. Exhale, send your right arm underneath your left arm. Your right ear and temple can drop onto the mat. Stay here and breathe for 3 breaths. Maybe with an inhale, you extend your left arm farther ahead. But just go at your own pace here. Don't need to overextend anything or overdo. We're just trying to breathe and stretch our right shoulders here. One more breath. And then exhale to release. Lift your arm back up and move your wrists around here. And then release your hand back to the ground. So right arm on the mat, and let's do the thread the needle on the left side. So arm lifts, nice big reach. Exhale, send your left arm under your right arm. Stay here for 3 breaths. Getting a nice shoulder stretch, nice neck stretch here. Feel free to reach your right fingertips a little farther on top of your mat. One more breath. And then exhale to release out of that. Lift your arm, twist your wrists around. And then let's send back into a child's pose for just a few breaths. So your knees can be wide. Your forehead can be on the mat. Stay here and breathe for 3 breaths. On your next inhale, bring yourself back up into a tabletop. Curl your toes, and then exhale, push your hips up into your first down dog of the day for a lot of us. So here your knees can be bent. You want your back to be flat. So if that means bend your knees, please do that. Eventually, you can exhale and drop your heels down. Maybe straighten your legs a little bit more. Let your fingers be nice and wide on the mat. Let your head be heavy. Stay here and breathe for 3 breaths. Just let your body kind of get used to this down dog here. Now on your next inhale, look up at your fingertips. Exhale and slowly walk up to your fingertips, keeping yourself low for a forward fold. Exhaling into your forward fold. Here, your feet can be a little bit separate. You can grab opposite elbows for a ragdoll, and you can sway back and forth here if you want, or you can just be still. This is a nice low back release. Let your head be heavy. We're going to be here for 5 breaths. So maybe your chest is on your upper thighs, maybe not. You can also massage the back of your calves here. Just 2 more breaths. Now on your next inhale, release your hands and come up into a halfway lift with your hands on your shins. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, extended mountain. Slowly rise one vertebrae at a time, letting your head be last. Hands up to the sky. Exhale your hands to your heart. Release your hands for mountain. And then we're going to do some freedom breathing here, moksha pranayama. So inhale your hands to the sky. Breathe. Keep breathing, keep breathing. And then exhale your hands to your heart. We're kind of going to move a little bit slow with these. So inhale, reach, move slow, breathe, filling up your lungs like a balloon. And then 3 more times. Inhale, reach. Hold it. And biggest breath you got. Inhale, reach. Keep breathing. Keep filling up your lungs. Keep sipping that air. Hold it. And from here, I invite you to close your eyes and set an intention for yourself for this Friday or for the holidays or whatever your heart wants, or if you just want to sit in silence. All right, and then inhale to reach up again. And exhale, we're going to flow down. So lower and walk yourself into a high plank position. You can be on your knees here if you would like. Otherwise, I invite you to keep your knees up, push the mat away. Let your gaze be between your fingers and stay here and breathe. 3 breaths. Inhale to push the mat away. Let your shoulders expand. Exhale. 2 more breaths. Let that core shake a little bit. Let that fire. And then exhale slowly, lower to the mat. Keeping your fingertips next to your upper rib cage. Push yourself up into a cobra. Heart lifts. Exhale, forehead, mat. Now, next time I cue us up into a cobra, try to make it a little bigger, but try using only your low back strength. Let your fingertips just kind of be there. So inhale up, heart lifts. Feet are together like a cobra tail. Exhale, forehead to mat. Stay here and breathe. Exhale. Next inhale, push up into your biggest cobra. Exhale, lower. Push your hips back up, downward facing dog. Now your body should be a little bit warmed up here, so maybe your legs are a little straighter. Inhale through your nose. Exhale, let your heels fall. On your next inhale, bring your right leg up to the sky, 3-legged dog. Exhale, send your foot through the center of your hands, drop your knee, and find yourself in a low lunge position. So you can stay right here in low lunge. You can keep your hands on your upper thigh, and you can stay just like this. But if you're wanting more of a hip opening, you can heel toe your foot out to the edge of your mat and release down into a lizard pose. So you can stay like this for lizard, or you can come onto your forearms. That's perfect. Sometimes the discomfort is where we really need to stay and sit with that. Also, just know the difference with hurting yourself and finding comfort in the discomfort. I find lizard pose is one of those poses So if you find yourself in the place we've all been, just give yourself some grace, breathe, unclench your jaw. Stay here for 3 breaths wherever you are. Two more breaths. Your next inhale, if you're in a low lunge, gently push yourself up. And then kind of walk your foot back to the center so that you can go back into a low lunge. So inhale in your low lunge and your arms up. We're going to do a little baby back bend. So exhale to kind of open your arms up like a goalpost. And you can stay just like this, or you can drop your head back a little. Just stay with your breath. One more breath. Inhale, slowly come up. Exhale your hands down. Curl your toes and lift yourself up so you're in a low runner's lunge. From here, we're going to do an easy twist. So you're on your toes, you're in a low runner's lunge, your knee is off the mat. Left hand is in front of your right foot, and then inhale your right arm up. And if this is too much, you can drop your knee. Easy twist. And then release that twist. Bring your knee back. And flow, optional flow. You can send your right foot back. You can exhale to lower down. Inhale, come up into an up dog or a cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let downward dog be your get gas type energy, like breathe again, reboot, connect back to your breath. And then inhale your left leg to the sky. Exhale, send it through low lunge. Drop your right knee. Inhale yourself up. You can keep your hands on your upper thigh and stay here for 5 breaths. Or if you want to even out and open up to lizard, walk your foot out. Let yourself drop down. And if this is all you want to go, that's perfect. If you want more, you can be on the knife edge of your foot and you can release your forearms to the ground. Each side will probably feel a little different. I know I'm more open on my left side, so it's harder for me to do little things like balance on my right, but that's why we do yoga. Try to be nice and even here. Couple more breaths. Now inhale, gently bring yourself up. Walk your foot back to the middle of the mat and come back into your low lunge. And inhale your arms up and stay here, or take a back bend. Exhale, open up your arms, goalpost arms. Let your head drop back, let your heart be open. 3 breaths, wherever you are. One more breath. Exhale, slowly come out of your back bend. Bring your hands to the mat, curl your toes and lift your knee. Just a nice gentle lift of the knee for a low runner's lunge. You want to open up to a twist, open up your left arm. You're always welcome to drop your knee down here too. Stay here for 3 breaths, a nice easy twist. Beautiful. Good job. Everyone looks great. One more breath. Exhale, release. And then inhale your right knee up. Send your foot back, an optional flow here. Lower on an exhale. Inhale to bring yourself up for cobra or up dog. And let's send ourselves back in a child's pose. Exhale into a wide knee child's pose. Stay here and breathe for a few breaths. All right, on your next inhale, push yourself up into tabletop. Exhale, curl your toes and send your hips up for another downward facing dog. I'm going to lead us into a quick little standing series here. So inhale your right leg up. Exhale, send your foot through. Angle your left foot 45-degree angle for a warrior 1. So before you put your arms up, just make sure you're stable below. You want to try to keep your hips squared right in front of you and inhale your arms up. Stay here for 5 breaths. So try to do something with each breath. Inhale to kind of lengthen more. Exhale to sink into your right knee more. Heart might be beating a little fast. Try to let it slow in this warrior 1. You're powerful, but you're also very grounded and stable. You can also turn your pinkies towards each other for a little internal rotation, reaching up. One more breath here. And then exhale, open up to warrior 2. You will have to adjust your footing a little bit. And when let your right knee open up kind of away from you, because you're trying to open up your hips here. Let your arms be straight, shoulders relaxed. Gaze through your right fingertips. 3 breaths. If you feel that fire, that's good. Focus on your breath. Now inhale, flip your palm. Exhale, reverse your warrior. Keep your legs as they are below. Stay here and breathe. Straighten your leg so you're in a reverse triangle. So your right leg should be straight. And exhale, come back. We're preparing for triangle. So walk your feet a little closer towards each other. Your heel right in the center of your left inner foot. And then arms are reaching. And then try to reach something. Keep reaching, keep reaching, keep reaching until you cannot reach anymore. And then drop your hand onto your shin. Left fingers straight up. Your gaze can be looking up through your fingertips. Stay here for 3 breaths. Now inhale, come back up. Exhale, drop your knee for a warrior 2, just for a breath. And then exhale, flow down. Send your right foot back, high plank. Exhale, lower. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Find your breath in down dog here. Your fingertips be wide. Inhale your left leg up. Exhale, send it through. Warrior one on the left side. So remember just to make sure you're stable below and then inhale your arms up. So we're going to be here for 5 breaths. So inhale to reach, exhale, sink a little bit more. Your feet can be in separate lanes here. They can be in wider lanes if you need more stability. Focus on your breath. Let your heart kind of slow down in this pose. Inhale, reaching, exhale, sinking a little more. Beautiful. Then exhale, open up, warrior two. Again, adjust your footing here. Let your left knee open up away. You're opening up your hips. Stay here for 3 breaths. Gaze through your left fingertips. Let your shoulders relax. Your inner thigh muscles are definitely active. 1 more breath. And then reverse your warrior, keeping your bottom half the same. Letting your left ribs get that nice stretch. And then straighten your legs. You're in a reverse warrior triangle. My personal favorite transition, giving your thigh a little break. And then come back up with warrior two arms, but walk your back foot a little closer to your left foot as we set up for triangle. So remember to reach, reach, reach until you cannot reach anymore, and then drop into your triangle. Heart is open. Look up at your fingertips as long as you don't have any neck problems. Stay here for 3 breaths. And then inhale to come back up. Exhale into a quick warrior two, just for a breath. And then we flow. Cartwheel your hands down. Send your left foot back. Drop down on an inhale. Exhale, come up. Send your hips up back for a down dog. Now walk your hands back to your feet. Find yourself in a forward fold. Inhale, slowly rise. We're going to do a little balancing here. So tree pose. So make sure you ground into your left foot. We're going to be balancing on our left foot to start. And I'll give a couple options. So option 1, kickstand your foot out. And this is perfect. If this is the tree you want to be today, that's absolutely perfect. But if you want to expand, lift up your foot, maybe bring it on your inner thigh. We're going to stay here and find a still point to focus on. I like to be kind of silent in tree pose because this is where we build confidence and trust with ourselves. So stay here and breathe. Let your drishti, which is your yoga gaze, be at a still point directly in front of you. If you want to challenge yourself, look up a little. But I know that this is already a little bit of a challenge. All right, bring your knee in front of you. Slowly release. Now we're going to balance on our right foot. So again, kickstand your foot out. Maybe do something different with your arms. Maybe you want to do a reverse namaste behind your back. Maybe you want to balance out a little more. Bring your left foot up on your inner thigh. Just find your stability here. Find a still point to focus on. Connect with your breath. Trust that the earth below you has got you. When you are mentally calm and still, balance might come a little easier. That's why I like to kind of keep us in this pose for a little bit longer. It's important to trust yourself. And falling is okay. It's just a part of life. My mantra is better to fall in yoga class than, out on the street or something. All right, bring your knee in front of you, release your hands, and then gently release your foot. And then separate your feet. Open up like a star because you are a beautiful star shining bright. And then exhale, we're going to go into a yogi squat. You can also be on a block and kind of stay here and breathe. Stay here for 3 breaths. Like in tree, we're balancing, we're focused. One more breath. Exhale, bring your hands down, gently walk yourself on into a quick tabletop and then lower down onto your belly. And you can rest your forehead on your hands like this for a crocodile pose. So rest, breathe. To make this a little bit more active, you can bring your left knee up. So it's like at a 90-degree angle. So you're in like a half frog position. You can bring your right cheek to the mat, looking towards your knee, not towards your knee, but in the same direction. Stay here and breathe. Let your heart slow down a little. A couple more breaths here. If you want more of a stretch, you can always straighten your leg. Get that nice deep inner thigh stretch. Feels so good. And then close your leg back up. Turn your left cheek onto the mat and bring your right knee out. Half frog on this side. Stay here and breathe. If you're needing more of a stretch, sometimes I do. You can straighten your leg out. Couple more breaths. And bring your foot back in. Straighten out your leg, and we're going to transition onto our back. So just move slowly as we start to wind down and finish up class here. So come onto your seat and then lower down onto your back. but keep your legs up and then bring your left foot over your right knee. So you're in a figure four. And you can stay like this, or if you want more, thread your left arm through, kind of like thread the needle, grab the back of your thigh or knee. Keep your neck straight on the ground. This is kind of like a modified pigeon pose. Always a good option if pigeon is just not for you at the moment. You can still get the benefits in this figure four here. You can also pull your thigh closer to you if you want more of a stretch. Take a couple breaths here. Then release that. Drop your leg down. Release your thread out of the needle. And then bring your right foot up across your left thigh by your left knee. And then reach through again. And then release out of that and keep your feet wide on the mat and then drop your knees to the left side. You can swish back and forth, inhale, and then exhale to move it. Windshield wiper knees is what we call this. And do that a few times here until you feel nice and loosened up in the hips. And then before we take our final rest, I invite you to do any last movement you want. So you can grab your feet for a happy baby. I love this one after all that hip work. You can pull your feet towards you. Your low back is nice and released here. Any last movement your body is calling. Yeah, just a few more breaths doing what your body's calling. And then eventually allow your body to be flat on the mat. Let your feet open up, take up space here. Your final resting posture, Shavasana. We have a couple minutes here and I'll let you know when it's time to go. Unless you're in a rush, of course, feel free to leave. Otherwise, Shavasana is the most important part of class. A lot of fellow yoga teachers will tell you that. Give yourself the gift of rest and stillness. Let your body melt into earth. Let your eyelids be heavy. Let your heartbeat slow down and just be at ultimate peace. You are loved for being who you are, just for existing. You don't have to do anything to earn it. Your shortcomings, your lack of self-esteem, physical perfection, or social and economic success. None of that matters. No one can take this love away from you, and it will always be here. Gently start to move your toes and your fingers, bringing some life back into your body. And maybe you roll on one side, left or right, slowly, and meet back up in a seat. You can keep your eyes closed. Just take your time. And we will all close practice together in a seat, or you can definitely stay on your back. Maybe bring your hands to your heart and gratitude for everybody in the room and on Zoom. And thank you so much for trusting me with your practice and sharing space with me. It's always my favorite part of the week. So thank you so much, you guys. Namaste.